Folks,
The president says he has a mandate.
the people of this nation have spoken.
That means his government can do all sorts of good things.
We can ban assault weapons.
Gun control's on the agenda, and many progressives also want to outlaw hate speech.
Hate speech is fundamentally at odds with the Constitution.
And above all, they'll spend much more of your money.
Without creating an inflation problem.
Sounds great, except those policies were just tried in Venezuela. Hugo Chavez thrilled American celebrities by embracing not just socialism, but the very ideas they'd advocated.
This is you and Hugo Chavez.
He says, help me write my speech.
He is one of the most important forces we've had on this planet.
You have to be blind to actually believe that.
Andrés Guilarte is one of the thousands of Venezuelans who protested socialist rule. Here he is with his friends. They risked their lives to protest.
Undeterred by security forces, participants flood the streets of Caracas.
It was like a war, actually. When you're running from bullets and you're running from tear gas.
The government killed hundreds of protesters. Yet the protests continued for months because those very policies that American celebrities loved created horrible hardships.
We can't take it anymore.
Now even basic protest is often illegal because Venezuela passed a hate speech law.
The law bans Venezuelans from spreading violent or hateful content through TV, radio, or social media platforms.
Yet that's exactly what half the Democrats in America now want.
Free speech is protected. Hate speech is not protected.
A ban on hate speech may sound good, but the problem is
the ruling party, they decide what hate speech is.
In America, some politicians in the ruling party also want to add 4 new justices to the Supreme Court.
A 13-member Supreme Court.
Chavez did pack his Supreme Court.
They changed it from 20 people to 32 people.
And the court has never ruled against him.
After that, no.
Venezuela also passed gun control laws, something else America's ruling party would like to do. But in Venezuela, people discovered that taking people's guns also makes it easier for the government to come to your home and take your property.
See how it actually happens in Venezuela. You're just in your shop selling shoes, and some government officer arrives and say, we're going to shut down your business. That will be completely different if that business owner had a gun.
But the government would just come in with bigger guns.
If we actually had a culture like you have here in the U.S., it will have been incredibly difficult.
And the restrictions on guns didn't even reduce crime. In fact, Venezuela's murder rate rose.
These laws never work. Citizens don't have guns, but the criminals have the bigger guns.
The most important lesson from Venezuela is probably the danger in the idea that governments can fund everything they want to do by simply printing more money.
The federal government, it can never run out of money. It never has to worry about finding the money in order to be able to spend.
There is no financial limit.
More spending won't create inflation, we're told. It'll do the opposite.
Driving down prices, not raising prices.
There's a new movement in America that we can just print more money and it won't cause problems, won't cause inflation, and it'll just stimulate.
Well, of course, John. That's how economy works. You just print money because money comes out from the trees.
Venezuela printed that money and spent it on programs they said would help the poor.
His supporters say that Chavez is the country's first president to genuinely care about the lower class.
But the poor were the people hurt most by the inflation that followed.
Cost of most basic goods has soared.
The oil-rich country's inflation rate at 270%.
Inflation expected to hit 700% this year.
400,000%.
1,000,000%.
Inflation's up in the United States, too, and the direction looks ugly. But inflation here hasn't exploded the way it did in Venezuela.
It doesn't mean that it can't happen.
That, unfortunately, is true. Remember, Venezuela was once very rich.
We were the richest economy in Latin America. We were the promised land. People from America were going to Venezuela to build businesses.
But now, Venezuelans try to escape.
Carrying their lives on their backs.
Everything can fall to the ground really quickly. Inflation is like a cancer. You never know when it's going to hit you.
The idea that massive government spending and all those other feel-good policies will work in America when they've already failed elsewhere, that's a dangerous myth. Thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, learned something from it, please remember to subscribe and hit the notification bell. That'll make sure you get the next one.